Hello. I never know how long this thing takes to kick in. It says comments will appear here. You can never see if anybody's there yet or not. So it's just kind of playing along. So hopefully some people will come along and listen. I'm going to be talking about the Red for Kashmir event and how we can take that forward. So maybe I'll just wait a little while and see. Oh, I think some people are appearing now. I'll just wait another 30 seconds or so just to see if more come along. I can see, oh, one's watching. Hello. Hiya, how you doing? I might have to put my glasses on because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to read the screen, but we'll see. Okay, I'll just start talking. If you've got any comments or questions that you want to put up, just do that. I mean, I think what we're hoping to do, isn't it, is take forward from where after the Indian Army went in and the lockdown of the 5th of August, and we saw the Kashmiris and everybody turn their profiles red. I think we're just trying to waken that up again and bring that back out and lift the voices louder. I think we're hoping to see like this not led by one person, but led by the Kashmiris and led by everybody. So all as individuals, whatever we can do to drive it, we can drive that. So, if you'd be thinking in your head, right, what can I do? How can I magnify this? Who can I reach out to? I think ultimately out here, outside of Kashmir, we know what the Western society is like. So the way we might protest in different countries or raise awareness would be really different. So certainly those of us from the UK know the images that people would relate to. We know how we can get in people's psychology and let them, aware of the human rights abuses. And it's things like bringing out, I think, the individual stories. But just predominantly, we want to stand in solidarity. But I guess we also want to raise the awareness so we bring more people with us from the grassroots level. So there's lots we can be doing kind of locally and around us. But then once we've got these people, we have got lots of links to people at diplomatic level and in parliament, in the power corridors, as it were. So we do need to keep reaching out to them, and we do need to keep making them do the actual work for us at the levels that we need it to. I mean, I know for me, ultimately, I would love to see the United Nations working as it's meant to. They've got all these amazing resolutions and articles and charters, and even alone what they say about self-determination is that every country, regardless of who you are or where you are, has the right for self-determination. They have the right to make their own decisions about their own country, which means that, even with all the UNCS resolutions and all the different laws and things that have been passed over the years or agreements, they could all be overrode by the fact that the United Nations says everybody has the right for self-determination. So I think ultimately, that's what we're looking for, same as Scotland fought for their right for self-determination. Why can't every country have it? And I think, if we bring the people with us, we know we need to reach out to the Palestinian activists as well. And, the Black Lives Matter movement, because that's fundamentally based on, equality and against racism. And we need to, I think, bring as many people, to support the oppression and the occupation of other countries as we can. So I think that was fundamentally our aims. So even speaking to people around you, friends, colleagues, anybody you might meet in the shop queue, and tell them about Red for Kashmir, about what's happening, the human rights abuses, how the West is predominantly trying to control all these other countries for their own economic gain and value. The more people we can share and tell. And then obviously, the Red for Kashmir is quite a simple concept, but it can be so effective because the unity that we can all build and bridge together as we work towards the day is, we can't underestimate the value of that. A lot of it's in the process, but the bigger we can make it, then on the 5th of August, the impact we could have could be massive, because if the profiles are all red over Kashmir, if people are uploading red images or their posters, and these are, all over social media, then people are going to start asking, well, what is this about? And we reach more and more people, all the time. But the more we can involve as well, if people are involved, they learn better than just being told. So anything, I know in Glasgow, we're hoping to organise like a car rally that will go from Glasgow to Edinburgh. So ultimately, we will take our message to the Edinburgh Parliament, so the Scottish Parliament, and we're quite optimistic. We want to really, the Scottish government wants self-determination. They're frustrated that they have to devolve to the UK government. They have some really good kind of human rights policies, and they're really quite outward facing. I think they could be a strong voice for Kashmir, but we need to do the work in Scotland to lobby them, to put the pressure on them and let them know that this is what the people want. I think we're hoping that lots of people from the UK would come up to Glasgow, come up to Scotland. We're still kind of organising the finalities of it just now, but it would be awesome to see a big car rally coming from all around England for those that can, to come up to Scotland. And if we drive slowly from Glasgow to Edinburgh, the visuality, what people will see, and the attention that we can bring to it. So it's raising awareness, but also driving forward our clear message that, we're not happy about this situation. We want to see an end to these human rights atrocities, and we want our governments working for us, and we want United Nations working for us. So wherever you are, whatever your area, whoever you know, anything that you can think of for doing for the 5th, or, raising awareness, or letting people know, we need to actually do the work to make this count. And, it'd be great to do more than turn our profiles red. But if that's the least we do, then that's better than nothing. We know the voices in Kashmir, particularly Indian occupied Kashmir, are being silenced. The media is being silenced. We don't know the half of what's going on in there, the terrible trouble with COVID. So I think we have to, I think we need to sort of be their voices and bring out from what we do know as much as we can. And again, this is kind of, we need to, I think, try and work above the ideology. So whether at the end of the day we're fighting for independence, or whether we're fighting to go to Pakistan, or whether there are some people that do want to go with India, you never know, that we, at the moment, we're pushing that it's right for self-determination. We're pushing what's happening, the human rights abuses. We're letting people know that, all the injustices, the leaders being locked up, the political prisoners, the threat to people's lives. That's what we need to kind of get out there and try and get the unity in the movement amongst us. Otherwise, I think if we're too busy, thinking about whether we support Pakistan or whether we don't support Pakistan, then that's where the divisions come in, and we kind of end up arguing. If we can get to self-determination the democratic way with all of us, then for the 3-way, not just for the Pakistan's chosen of the 2 options, and then you can have the 3rd one. For me, it's the 3-way from the word go. But whatever we have to do to get there, and just now we need more people, because we're just talking amongst ourselves a lot of the time. I find a lot of the groups that we're in, or the pages we're in, or any of the Zoom conferences that we're having, we're all kind of telling ourselves a little bit more, and it's time to bring it out from the activists, from the organisations, from the diaspora, and reach out further. I think we've seen that in the strength of the Palestinian movement. But obviously with COVID, I guess we have to be careful. If we're going down onto the streets, we do need to see what the things are at the time. And I think that's why I quite like the idea of a rally. But positively, this has really grown, and this has moved really quickly. And the connections, global connections worldwide, whether it's in America, Australia, South Africa, are proven to be really, really strong in their rights for this. And obviously with their experience in the past against anti-apartheid, making links with them is massive. I know I've been speaking with people in Russia, really all over the place, and those connections are invaluable. And I think we need to keep pushing those and pursuing those, and just keep putting the message out there. So it's a mixture, really, I think, of standing in solidarity, raising that awareness, the process of us all, coming together and pulling together. Hi, everybody. Hi, Lakshmi. The process of us all pulling together is, like I say, is invaluable. And I think whilst COVID has kept us not as active as we would have liked and off the streets, I think we've used that time quite wisely to make the links between us all and make it about humanity. I think that is what crucial here, and recognizing and accepting that people might have different opinions at the end of the day. But if we don't do something about it, we know that India, they're going through Jammu and Kashmir, their side, like the rate of knots, and that needs to be stopped. People might feel they're occupied sometimes, as they say, on both sides. They want their right for their own land, but I think sometimes as well, looking at where the atrocities are and where we need to put our thoughts and efforts first is crucial. But I think on the simple level, if we can raise that Kashmiri voice out, we can reach beyond all of ours. That can help. Does anybody have any comments or thoughts or things that they might want to take forward? I know already we've talked about telling as many people as we can, just on a simple day-to-day level, connecting with all the activists that we know or people in our groups or parties or whoever they are, just to make that biggest impact. But it's like we want people to take ownership of this campaign like themselves. So all as individuals, what can we do? What effort can we make? Not forgetting to write to our parliamentarians at this time, not forgetting to still write to United Nations, reach out for newspapers, write articles, to anything, whatever your talent is, whatever your strength is, think about how you could use that to heighten this cause and bring awareness to it. There are some amazing ideas going around just now. There's a poetry competition. There is a story, like a poster creating competition for school children. Anything that we can do to involve people. That idea again came from South Africa, and recognizing that if we can involve people in this, then the cognitive thinking, it stays with them. Because we will need to continue this work, obviously, past the 5th. So whilst we're gearing right now for maximising the 5th, what can we do for the 5th? How can we make that as loud as we can? We need to also carry forward the support that we get and take that forward and make it bigger and stronger. There's also like a video making competition. If you can make videos less than a minute that can be uploaded on social media platform, then people can see those and listen to those. And it is, somebody's saying they're nice efforts for peace. Absolutely. And I think, isn't that what we all want? We just want to live simply without others being hurt. And I know I've said lots of time before, just because it's not happening outside our front door, doesn't mean we should ignore it. We wouldn't walk past it in the street. Why should we walk past it happening anywhere else? And, there is so much to consider. We're talking about, collection of poems, great idea. I think what we're hoping to do at the end of the day with those poems, although it's done as a competition, they'll be entered and then they'll be compiled, and then we'll be able to make an online exhibition or even an on the ground exhibition of these. So we would keep them and they would go forward. And hopefully it become a collection. But if anybody individually wants to send in a collection, they could also do that. We're talking about countries, with nuclear power as well. So that's a reach out for other people in the world. This is why they need to take notice. And also, the impact on the environment that we're talking about, and just these weapons and everything that's in there. Trying to read one of the comments on here. I might need to reach for my glasses. Subject removes video production. Having students take part in this could help. Yeah, absolutely. It's something we've really, really wanted to do, is reach out to the students. Before COVID, we had plans here in Scotland. We were going to go and visit the universities, and we were going to try and set up Kashmir groups by speaking to the Palestinian activists, the peace groups, Amnesty, etc. But sadly, that stopped us. And also with COVID, the students haven't been in the universities in the same way. Once they start going back in August and across the globe, that they're the people that have, the time, if you like, from their studies. They don't have the responsibilities of a house and a family and worrying about they might lose their job if they're too noisy, or those kind of concerns. Whereas a student, we know, if anyone can remember those days, we are free to act on our passions, our feelings, and what we want to do. So there's hope for this movement as well to grow stronger, because the students haven't been together in the way we would like them to. And obviously they're the clever ones with the technology as well, and can really pull together the resources and find the people to help them. So that would be good. Again, I don't know if people coming along, I think my main message for today is that I want people to take this forward themselves, to campaign around them, take ownership for turning their profiles red, for getting the posters. If you don't have a red poster, please direct message me. If you'd like one, I can make you one. There are now more people making their own. Some people have asked me for the template, and then they can make their own and ask others, and that saved a lot of time, because I don't know, I think I've made over 300, which is great. So some people, they will have made more. But yeah, the standing in solidarity and reaching for others. Lakshmi, competition for students to prevent speeches on that would be awesome as well. So like a speaking let's say word competition, or even could they video them and send them in doing the speeches or on the ground. So yeah, great. And that's it. I think we want to conjure up the ideas. What have we not thought of before? Why has this been hidden for 73 years? I mean, that's how I came around it. I heard after the lockdown on the simple concept that someone couldn't contact a family member. And it was that human level that hit me. And then meeting a lot of other people that were worried about their families. And so how can we reach to other people that haven't heard about this before? We know it's hidden by our Western media. Those of us that have been doing this for a while or a long time know this is about, the economies. It suits the West to keep the status quo like this, and they turn their blind eye to it. But it's not right. And why should we sit and accept that? And so what else can we do to bring this out, to reach people, to touch people? We've seen with the likes of Greta Thunberg and her movement with the students, striking at school because of the climate. We've got climate change happening dramatically in Kashmir, not just with the glaciers, but also through the deforestation, the threat to wildlife, to animals. If there's, and it's right. We say often, for me, it sometimes feels like the heart of the earth, the center of the earth. And if we've got this military stuff going on, the activity itself in the air, and then what they're doing with, displacing people, the timber, the other buildings and things they're putting together and destroying land, then that's we're also looking at climate change in here. The racism involved, the Islamophobia involved, that taps into the Black Lives Matters movement as well, that is fundamentally about, equality and equal rights. So this could all, and ultimately working with other people towards, why not, a global movement that seeks to put an end to this, because we are seeing a lot of movements out there. But I think as well, I know for me, it's great to have all the connections on social media. It's really valuable. It's really important. I can use my own page, which is quite effective in the West, my own personal page, because although maybe my friends don't comment on it and they're often like, oh, here she goes again, they do read it and they do see it. But, we've seen it before. People are often just busy in their lives. They don't actually think they can make a difference. So, they don't come out of their comfort zone sometimes. They may be aware, they may have sympathy, but they perhaps don't know how to. And so part of this campaign, everyone could turn their profiles red for a day. Everyone could take a photograph of themselves wearing red, or a poster or something red, and upload it. Using the hashtag Red For Kashmir would unite everybody wherever you are, because you just need to go onto Twitter and in the search bar, type in hashtag Red For Kashmir. That will bring up all the posts with Red For Kashmir. Same on Facebook, same on Instagram, same as wherever you are. To subscribe, Kashmir is... I might need to put my glasses on like to read that one. Touch widely. Or yeah, the suicide in Kashmir. You're right, absolutely. I can't. Mental challenges. They must have been living under trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder for about 3 generations. Let's face it. And then what they're going through just now. You know, we know the trauma of people that haven't been able to contact their loved ones, and with COVID as well added on top of that. You know, the sickness, we know the facilities aren't in there. We know they're spending far too much money on military. It would help both Pakistan and India and the people of their countries. If it was demilitarized, they would have more money to put into the infrastructures of their countries. And this is one of the things I sometimes feel that, you know, the United States government or the United Kingdom government don't actually realize these countries could become better economic powers without fighting over Kashmir. So coming from their perspective, where it is about economy, then you feel like, well, you know, you can end all this, put it as United Nations say, and let's put a right to this. But the mental stress and trauma, we know, you know, I never like to be defeatist. It's always optimistic, but it's going to take a couple of generations for this, even if it was solved tomorrow, to kind of settle out and sort out. Yes, onwards and upwards. Keep up the good news and the good work. But yes, there are people suffering everywhere. So we know that mental health is a massive thing these days. People recognize it. We've got people globally suffering with their mental health because of COVID, the impact of COVID, or on their jobs or their livelihoods with money. Let's add into that illegal occupation and oppression, missing people, you know, deaths, never knowing, you know, what's happening the next day, all the uncertainty. So it's awful. So I think, yeah, message going forward is to keep that unity, keep working together, do whatever we can to raise the awareness. If anybody has any ideas for anything at any time, you know, reach out and let us know. We have the Red for Kashmir Facebook page. That's what I'm on right now. But I'm just thinking if I share this video out wider, anybody that's watching it afterwards can come along to come to the Red for Kashmir page. Sadly, I'm permanently banned from Twitter just now till I can find, well, I'm permanently banned from Twitter. So we'll need to get a Red for Kashmir group back up again as well, because I was holding that. Thank you so much. Get global support to get military embargo. We have enough. Yeah, absolutely. There is so much that we can build together for that as well. We saw with the Palestinian activists, wasn't it, at the ports and everything, they were stopping them taking the weapons. If we can raise the awareness, we can reach out to more people around this. Even Palestinian activists, I mean, they were on the roof in Elbit today in Birmingham, and they're going right for the heart of the matter. If they can close down Elbit factories and they stop the bombs going to Palestine, they stop them going for Kashmir. So even though they're under the name of Palestine Action, they're also standing for Palestinians, for Kashmiris, because you know, they're recognising both the same. So they're making their awareness as well. And I think we see them in their red boiler suits and their red paint. And, you know, it joins in with the Red for Kashmir theme as well. We've got a lot of Palestinians supporting this movement as well already. But the more we can reach out to, the better. I think the last I heard, sadly, on the Birmingham people, I think there was 3 of them, and they're in custody now. But they, you know, they were up there, they were trying, and they're doing their thing. And then it's good for those of us that can't go and stand on a roof for different reasons to at least be able to highlight that or support it. So there is so much that we can do. And like I say, if you reach out for more people around you, I think we very much want to make this, you know, we're fanning the flames. Those of us that are in it just now, you know, we've got this idea, as it were, from the Kashmiris. We're raising that again as it comes to the 5th, because we know they're so clamped. But we can now all raise the voices up, and it's about us doing it together. You know, it's all doing it together. Nobody necessarily leading, nobody following, all walking alongside. So those of us that are in it and have helped raise it as big as we have in such a short time need to just keep keep doing this. Lakshmi, thank you for all your support. You've been awesome in this as well. And it's good when you do meet with like-minded people that have the passion, that you can bounce the ideas off one another to share out. And then people will either go with them or they won't, whatever works for them. But it's really important that we do, on the humanity level, that we do get this out globally. And then not only do we just raise the voice, but we then act on it as well at our governments, get the people at the world governments to make the changes at the UN, and get the UN functioning. I think that's our bigger aim. There is also a petition kicking around somewhere. I'll need to find it, and I'll put it back up to the Red for Kashmir page. And that's to just kind of run alongside this, because at the end of this, after the 5th of August, what will be great to do is look at the statistics, look at the demonstrations, etc. we've had. There's a massive, massive one being organised for Washington, outside the White House. It'd be great to get the word out to everybody. America, that's the place where if the noises are made, they're the ones with the ultimate biggest power. So if we can let people know, any friends in America, let them know, get them to the White House on that day. And, if anybody knows activists, actors, anybody that has a high profile, bring them along, get in touch with them, bring them along as well. Anything that's going to raise that concern. And I think as well, thank you for your efforts as well. And everybody working together with their efforts is making this as big as it is. So thank you all. I think Mary and I are in chat with Shams Rahman on JKTV on Wednesday, 7 p.m. UK time. I think that must be 11 p.m. or 11:30 Kashmiri time. It would be great for people to tune in then. I think you have the opportunity to upload questions or comments. So if anything comes up in discussion, but I know, speaking for all of us that, as we said, are fanning these flames from what the Kashmiri diaspora and Kashmiris started, we can all do that, and we want everybody to do that. So we've done what we can on the activism and with the connections that we've made and that we've had, because it's always like, I always feel if I don't do something about this, I feel terrible. That's what happens with me. I can't, it's like there's something going on awful somewhere that's an injustice. And if I don't do something about it, I don't feel good. So this has given me something to, put that passion and energy into, as it were, for humanity, for people, and to just try and bring this out. And then now I know others involved with me and with Mary and Lakshmi, or people working at that level. We've just been all firing our ideas at one another, sharing wherever we can and doing whatever we can. And now it would be awesome if other people, took this on, raised this up and thought about in their locality what they can do, or on live what they can do. But I'll stop there, because otherwise I'll probably talk all evening. I'll come live again soon. If anybody has any questions or any comments, they can probably leave them below this video, and then I'll look at them, and then next time I'm live I can answer some of those. Thanks all for your support, everybody, and everything you're doing. And let's hope we can go on and make this a big success. So thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.